What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Moose Milk Podcast, episode 61. I'm your host, Ryan. Gonna wait for Mr. at Customs by Matthew to join us. But hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's had a great week. Tonight we'll be talking about The Batman, Spoilercast, review, discussion, whatever you want to talk about. We'll give our brief thoughts before we jump into kind of more of our spoiler-filled thoughts, but that's what this episode will mostly focus on. So if you have not seen The Batman, be prepared. We will be talking about it in spoilery manner, so if you don't want any spoilers, don't stay. Watch The Batman, come back tomorrow, come back next week after you've seen it, and then you can listen to the episode then, you know. I see Matt's just joined. Just gonna wait for his request to join, and we'll go from there. Hopefully it works, because Instagram keeps changing the way it works. Some days, there it goes. Request to join, and then other days, no. Pops up in the bottom in a weird little icon. Don't like it. And there he is. Mr. Mac. He's dancing. He's having a good time. Look at him go. Full of energy. Full of energy.
That's right. You know it.
What up, buddy?
You know. Just
living life.
Living the dream, baby. Living the dream.
Yeah. Naturally.
I've been so fucking busy. It's just so annoying.
You gotta stop, man. You just gotta stop it.
So our office, like, we have. Did I tell you about the strike yet? No, right? Hi, Tac. How's it going, man? So like our office, we have like office staff who I won't say too much, but like they're part of a union and they're striking. I don't know exactly like all the details, but
are you not part of the union?
No, because I'm in management. So like we're like the retail
separate.
Team isn't. So like my specialists aren't either or anything, but because they do like all the bill paying, all the payroll.
Yep.
Like we all have to now go in and do it. So it's like we're doing like other people's jobs and then our jobs too. Because it's like we can't not pay our bills and we definitely can't not pay our staff, right? So
see, I'm very pro union, but that makes it a tricky situation when you are part of a team that part of you are not union and part of you are union. You still have to do your job, despite the fact that you are possibly in support of the people that are on strike, and it makes it very complicated. So
yeah, I try, especially because I don't really know any of it. Like I don't know anything about it, so it's like it's fine. And like to me, it's like I get it, but at the end of the day, like they're gonna do their thing, and that's fine. But it's like, I'm not gonna be on either side because I don't know either side. So like, there's no point in talking about it. You know what I mean? Sure. So, but yeah, the shitty part is now we're having to do the work, right? So it's and we have like new store opening, and I have like a million price changes, and it's just
inflation.
Man, it's crazy. Like I was just
saying to
my team the other day that it's like my price increases have gone up like from 60 a month to 150 a month, easy. Yeah. And they're all like big increases too. They're all like, 10%, 15%.
Like all the Loblaw stores in I don't know if it's Canada wide or just in Ontario, but none of them are carrying Frito-Lay chips anymore.
I heard about that. Yeah, I heard about
price
that.
Increase. And like, I mean, I don't understand it in any way because I'm like, everything has gone up in price. So why are you making a stand on Frito-Lay and not every other company in the world? But
they're probably trying to take advantage of the situation, maybe. But I don't know.
I mean, I'm just like, everything's being inflated right now. Everything. So it's like,
I do think that there is a level of greed in that, though. Like, I do think, you know, like even in my job, right? Again, I won't say a lot about it, but it's like
No.
I've had some vendors who, you know, they'll send me a 10% price increase, and then 3 months later they'll send me another 10%. Like I've had some stuff that's not doubled, but like pretty close to doubled in 16 months.
Yeah.
So hey, BC Sasquatch, what up, buddy?
What's up, man?
So yeah,
That's brutal. I mean, everything.
Like, I just say to them, I'm just like, that's pretty extreme, don't you think? Like,
yeah. I mean, I look at it too as like, it wouldn't be as bad if everything was the same, like, pack size as it used to be.
Yeah.
And then they'll increase the price. But everything's gone down in like pack size or like gram value or whatever. Yeah. And then they're increasing the price double fold. It's like the thing that you used to get 24 of, well, you now get 16 of, and we're tripling the price. It's like, all right, come on.
BC Sasquatch says $2. I was just going to say that. Gas went up to here for the highest in Canada ever. $2 a liter today.
Yeah, we're at $1.65 right now.
That's insane, man.
Yeah.
Remember, like, well, you probably don't really, well, you probably pay enough attention because you're on the road.
Oh, yeah. I remember gas being like 88 cents.
I was just going to say, I remember people were bragging about filling up at like 75 cents a liter. And I was like, man, that was like a year ago or a year and a half ago. What the fuck?
Oh, it's ridiculous. Like, it's funny too when you
trying to open my edible. So
yeah, it's all good, bud. When you see like the Americans and they're like, oh, it's almost $4 a gallon here. I'm like, dude, it'd be like $6 a gallon here right now. Like it's a time and a half, if not double, what you're paying in America. Like, it's insane.
It is insane. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's definitely some greed going on there, but I guess.
But that's corporations.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
All corporations are greedy. I mean, my company I work for is greedy. Your company you work for is greedy. Like every company is greedy. They all want profit, and it sucks because it hurts everybody, and especially people that are in my boat that make not a great living wage. Your dollar stretches that far left, and food increases, takes a huge chunk of your paycheck. You know. So,
yep.
It sucks.
Well, it's even like me and Kate were saying that, like, you know, go back to before the pandemic, and our grocery prices were like, you know, probably like for a week for the two of us, we probably spent like $120, maybe something like that. And like to now, it's like 180, sometimes even like 200 if we get like meat, like a good amount of meat and stuff too, right? Like she doesn't eat a lot of meat, but like if I pick up something because it's on sale or something, you know, but like
totally. I remember when I can't give out too much information because company wise, but back in the day, I worked at a different store than the store I work at now, and I remember that like steaks would go on sale, and I get like a 3-pack of like strip loin steaks for like $12.
Yeah, that's
and crazy. Now it goes on sale and it's like $29, and I'm like, okay, that's not even a sale. Like that's just really pricing. Now regular price, it's like, yeah, you can get a 3-pack of strip loin steak. It's going to cost you $50, and I'm like, that's a pass. Like, no.
Like, you know, sticker shock happened to me when I moved to BC because, like, I came. So for anybody who doesn't
everything's
know,
more expensive up there.
Yeah, me and Ryan know each other from we used to work together in a grocery store. So
in Ontario.
In Ontario. So when I moved out here and worked in a grocery store here, I was like, what the fuck? This shit is expensive.
But even when you showed me, like, okay, I haven't been out there in what, probably 6 years?
8. Yeah, probably maybe even longer than that. Probably 8 years.
Okay, 8 years, let's say. And you showed me some grocery stores out there, and I was like, this is fucking stupid. Like, how is anybody living out here? Like, I remember you showing me at one store, and there was like eggs for like $9.50, and I'm like, what is happening? Like, and now my organic eggs are like $9, and I'm like, this is stupid. Like,
you guys have basically just caught up. That's where I was basically going. Was like when I came out here, it was already expensive. It was like what you're describing as your experience was what my experience was when I moved out here. Because I was like, at home this costs $3. Here it costs $7. It's like
Yeah,
it makes
it's
no sense.
wild, man. Yeah, it's not good, and wages are so stagnant that it's just, yeah, it's bad. It's not good.
Yeah. BC Sasquatch says basic figs at Toys R Us. Oh yeah, so this is even. I think I've said this to you, Ryan, a couple times, but for action figures, basic figures now are $40. GI Joe, Black Series, and Legends, and then like if you go back like 2 years ago, they were $30. So in 2 years, they've jumped $10.
That's video games too, though. Like video games used to be $59.99. They jumped to $69.99. Now they're $79.99. And then plus tax, you're looking at like literally about $90 for a new video game.
That's
and it's
crazy,
like,
man.
And that's the basic video game. Like now
I was
they
just
have.
gonna say, you don't even get get the completed game at that point.
Well, it's not even that. It's like they release it in like packages now. So it's like the basic package will be $90, and then they'll have a deluxe package. Deluxe. I try to say package and deluxe together. A deluxe package for $99.99, and then they'll have like an ultimate edition for like $130. And I'm like, I'm not spending $130 on a new video game. Like, you're fucking high, dude. Like, not happening.
But that even goes back to the action figure thing. Like, it's perfectly timed. Like, right before I started up here, I opened a new figure that came in the mail today. I got back a Cobb Vanth from The Mandalorian.
Yep.
In the Boba Fett armor. And they market it as a deluxe figure, which doesn't make any sense because he even has parts that are like reused on him. It's $45 for him. And he's the only reason he's a deluxe is because they said he has premium paint applications, which he doesn't. And it's fucking ridiculous. And it's just like, that's the kind of stuff where I can control myself, I'll pull away. So it's like them doing that as soon as they started doing that shit, I'm like, okay, I'm only going to pick up those few things that are on the list that like I really need to have as part of my collection.
Yeah,
but
totally.
Like, I'm going to stop buying everything from them because it's just like, it doesn't make sense to anymore. Like
vinyl records, man. When I started collecting vinyl, they were $20 a vinyl, like a single album vinyl. Now they're basically like 30 to 35 a single vinyl.
Crazy.
And a double album is like 45 to 50. Like it's stupid. And
it's a lot of money.
Yeah, it sucks. Like, I mean, welcome to old man corner because I feel like we're like our parents now. We're like, when I was a kid, we could eat penny candies. But like,
I used to buy a Slurpee for 81 cents.
Exactly, but like, do you remember when we were like in Windsor? We could go to the movies on Tuesdays for $4 on every Tuesday, and it was like, holy shit! I seen the Batman tonight. It cost me $17. Like, I'm like,
I did D-Box and it cost me $26.
Yeah, D-Box here is I think $21.50. I think.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Man,
it's fucking stupid.
D-Box for this movie, I won't go into this too much yet, but I'll definitely forget. Was so fun with all of like the motorcycle parts and stuff because it would be like,
All right. So when you come down for Easter, we should go see a movie. I don't know what the fuck's out at that point. And I will give D-Box one more chance with you. Because I hate D-Box. It makes me motion sick as fuck. But you love D-Box.
I love D-Box.
So I will give it one more shot for you. I don't know what we can see in late April. It's a shame you weren't down for when fucking Doctor Strange came out. Yeah.
That'd be great.
We'll see something together. I don't know. We'll find a night. We'll find something to watch. And
we'll watch a rom-com and we'll get D-Box seats.
The only emotion is when they're having sex in the rom-com. Right. Yeah. I just spilled beer all over myself.
Yes.
We're good.
Good job.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to an actual topic. Anything you want to talk about that you watched this week before we jump into the Batman?
Yeah. I watched, I forgot to mention it last week, but we started watching that Pam and Tommy show or whatever on Disney
Pam and Tommy, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Have you seen any of it?
I haven't watched any of it. I'm aware of what it's about, but I haven't seen any of it. No.
It's pretty good. We're only on,
Yeah.
I think we're only 2 episodes in. This week we didn't watch anything because I worked all weekend, week, and she worked all week. But yeah, it was pretty good. I liked it. So Seth Rogen's in it too.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
He plays like one of the carpenters who is like redoing Tommy Lee's like sex room or whatever.
Oh, wow.
It's
Imagine having a sex room.
Well, you'll be able to hear all about it if you watch this show because it's.
I'll check it out. I know about it, and it was supposed to be really good. And what's his face from fucking Falcon is in it, right?
What's that? Sorry.
From Marvel.
Yeah, Sebastian Stan plays Tommy Lee, and the girl. I can't remember the girl who plays Pam, but like, man, the prosthetics they use for them, like they look just like Pamela. Like looks just like Pamela. It's crazy, man.
It's so weird because, like, do kids even know who these people are now?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't think it's meant for kids because there's definitely dicks and boobs in it. So,
like, it was such our era of like Baywatch, totally. like late '80s, early '90s of like, holy shit, this is on television, Boob Central, and then you'd flip over and you'd watch like fucking Attitude Era WWF, and you just see like fucking bra and panty matches in like fucking WWF, and it was just like, holy shit, you can get this on television now? It's like fucking softcore porn.
I know, crazy. So we watched that, and I didn't get to Peacemaker this week. I need to talk to you about your Crave.
Yeah, I'll send you the link tonight. Yeah, you have to remind me though, because I will forget about it in 30 seconds.
I will. And I came up in my Spotify feed. Have you heard the new Avril Lavigne album?
No.
Pretty good. I mean, not all of it's good. And there's some pretty like cringy lyrics, but there's a song with Mark Hoppus, and it's like it's pretty fucking
Mark
good.
Hoppus lyrically, or Mark Hoppus like
I think it's just lyrics, but he's in it. Like he sings in it. Like he's in it. Like he's actually on the track.
Nice.
But like she's like with Travis and Machine Gun Kelly right now too, right? So she's in that whole little like reborn pop punk thing they got going on right now.
I'm telling you, man, pop punk's coming back.
I love it. But I don't necessarily love this style of pop punk. It's not the same as old. Like it kind of reminds me. I always kind of do pop punk in like different waves. It's like there's like the mainstream pop punk like Blink and Green Day and Simple Plan, and then there's like the pop punk that existed the same time as that, but it just wasn't mainstream, and it's like not as catchy and not as polished. And then there's the shit that came after it, which is like all-time low. It's kind of like the second wave of pop punk.
Second wave.
This is more like a continuation of the second wave of pop punk. Like I don't really compare it to like Starting Line and MXPX and like they're very, very different. But yeah, it's actually a pretty good album. I've been listening to it the last day or so, and it's pretty good. Not all of it, but there's some good tracks on it.
Like so, I saw that like out Las Vegas. That Las Vegas, whatever that pop punk festival is that's coming to Vegas.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so that happened, and then a bar that's downtown by me now that I don't know, it's called Meteor. You're not going to know where it is, but it's like an upstairs bar. Yep. It's across from Fog Lounge, if you remember Fog.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a bar there now across the street that they have like a bunch of live shit going on, and they're having like Warped Tour revival nights every like month, where they're just gonna have like a local band play like 2000 era pop punk, and I'm like, I'm fucking stoked. Yeah, so I'm telling you, pop punk's coming back like big. Like it's definitely gonna come back big. Like Dashboard Confessional just released a new album last week or the week before.
Good? I saw that pop up. Yeah, I was kind of.
It's fine, but it's so 2000 era pop punk. Like it's so Dashboard. No, I guess it's not really pop punk, but like whatever you want. Emo pop 2000s Dashboard. It's spot on to like, a market mission of whatever that fucking album is. It's spot on. It's right there.
Nice.
Come here. Yeah.
Then again, you need to be quiet, dog.
Come here.
But yeah, you should check out that Avril Lavigne album. It's pretty good. At least check out the Mark Hoppus song. It's really catchy.
No, I'll definitely check it out. DC Sasquatch above said, where we are. remember when Edge and Lita had sex in the ring in the middle of Raw? And I totally 100% remember that because I was in love with Lita. Like, as a 13, 14-year-old boy, I was like, holy shit, Lita is the sexiest woman alive, and I am in love with her.
I just thought it was cool because she had her thong hanging out of her
100%.
pants.
Yeah, she wore like cargo pants with her thong straps hanging up above her pants, and I was like, that is the hottest thing that's ever happened to me as a 14-year-old boy. So
that's funny.
100%. Remember that. Appreciate that. That was the best era of wrestling that there ever has been or will be.
I agree. It's cool because I follow some, like, one of my buddies stopped doing like comic customs and started doing wrestling ones, and then he started sharing people doing wrestling ones, and I would like watch them or I would like see their work, and it takes me back to when I was a kid. I'm like, oh my god, I remember when I used to collect the toys, the wrestlers, when I was a kid too. Like, my love for toys has been forever. It's like,
yeah,
it's crazy. But then I see what they have now, and I'm so jealous. I'm just like, oh man, they have so much cool stuff. They have like classic Hulk Hogan with like hands that you can do the.
Oh yeah, like I remember as a kid having those rubber wrestling figures.
Me too, the LJNs.
I don't know. It was like early '90s. I had like Hulk Hogan and like I don't know, maybe like Andre the Giant. I don't know who else I had. I had like 5 or 6 of them, and we had a yard sale, and I sold them all for $0.25, and I regret that.
It's terrible
because I didn't know the value of money, and I was like, "Yeah, $0.25 is a lot of money. I'm going to take $0.25." And
I know I used my collections to sell. I would sell them so I could start a new collection. That's what I would do when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So it's like I never really got to hang on. There like a few odds and sods. Like I have a couple like Toy Biz Marvel figures that were like I bought when I was a kid, and I think I probably have a bin full of wrestlers. That was the last thing I collected before I stopped collecting the first time at my mom's house, I think.
Yeah, like so many people did that with video games too, where you'd have like an SNES collection of games, and then you'd sell it all so you could buy like N64 or something like that. You trade them all in.
Yep.
And it was just like, fuck, like I never did that, but like so many people would have like dope fucking video game collections right now if they didn't trade all their shit in.
Yeah, I had good video game collections as well because I got super into a Super Nintendo and I had so many fucking games, man. I had a lot of games for every system I ever had, but Super Nintendo, I had tons of games.
And you traded it in?
Yeah, I would just trade them amongst friends, like, once I stopped playing them. I was pretty good at kind of recycling them. That part actually wasn't bad because I was usually getting another game for it. Like, usually when I traded a video game, it was for a video game.
I know this sounds super, like, fucked up in a weird way, but I would love to, like, date a girl who, like, was gaming as a kid that just didn't appreciate it and, like, put it in a bin as a child. And then, like, all of a sudden she's like, oh, yeah, like, I got, like, a Super NES with every video game ever in a bin in my parents' basement. And then I just get that. That would be dope.
That would be good. I'd be happy for you if that happened.
Or if I found, like, some random old Blockbuster that just had a shit ton of DVDs in it of old, like, Blockbuster movies, that would make me the happiest person ever.
Man, honestly, that's the one of the few things that convenience-wise I miss. Like, although I do like being able to, like, rent something on my couch,
totally.
I won't try anything new. Like there's no, I won't, when I'm looking for something to watch, it's like, that was when I would, like, try something different or,
100%.
You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't do that with streaming stuff. It's like I don't do it with Netflix. I don't do it with anything really. Like, it's just, if it doesn't come recommended, I'm not really going to look at it usually. But
I literally would go to Blockbuster like once a week after work and just walk across the street, go to Blockbuster, look at whatever was like the new movie that they had for sale. I'd buy like 7 movies. I'd go home and watch all 7 all weekend. And then like that repeat every weekend. Like I did that forever. And that doesn't exist anymore, you know?
Yep. What did you watch this week?
Yeah, we're still doing that.
We are still doing that.
I finished Laugh Out Loud, Last One Laughing, whatever the fuck it's called.
And?
Good? Yeah, it's funny. I enjoyed it. The last 2 episodes came out yesterday. Really good. Really funny.
8 episodes in total?
6. What else did I fucking watch? I just watched Batman 89 after the Batman, just because I was fucking in a Batman movie.
Nice.
Fan mood, whatever. So, yeah, I watched that. That's basically it. I honestly didn't watch much this week. I played a lot of video games.
Nice. What'd you play?
Horizon Zero Dawn, Forbidden West. I'm still playing. I'm like 40 hours into that.
God damn.
Really good. Really good. Really enjoying it. The problem with that game is the climbing aspect of the game is really fucked up and broken. But other than that, I'm really enjoying the game. I really recommend it. It's a really cool story. Really cool graphically.
Hey, I need to leave for 1 second. I'm really sorry. I have to just go get my dog. He's running loose.
I don't care.
I'll be right back. You can finish up.
Yeah, it's all good. What else did I watch? I watched the first season of Love is Blind because I watched the second season first, which I know is weird, but watched that season. That show was fucked up and makes me totally realize that I can never date anybody ever, because if that's the way dating is, I'm screwed. That show's fucked. And then I obviously watched the Love is Blind season 2 reunion today, and that was a fucking wild ass reunion. So if you have not seen that, I recommend it, because that's probably the craziest. Oh shit, it's a dog party. Dancing. If you're not watching the video feed,
come on, Horn.
Yeah. If you're not watching the video feed of this podcast, you just missed a Dashtown dog party. And yeah, I mean, what can I say? You fucked up. You're not watching the video feed. But yeah, Love is Blind season 2 reunion was really good, really fucking nuts. I mean, it's a garbage ass show. It's a trailer park on fire, but it's a great reunion. So I recommend that. Other than that, did not watch much this week. I played a lot of video games, and I finished the Friends Apartments up there.
I saw that. That looks good.
Yeah.
You can't fit on your shelf though, right?
It's about 26 inches long, and my shelves are 24 inches apart. So
bummer. Yeah,
it doesn't fit exactly, and I would have to separate it into 3 shelves, and I don't want to do that. So it's just
Did you just like take that part that connects them apart and just put them on separate shelves?
Well, I just took the piece that connects them and put it behind it, and then I just put the two apart beside each other, because it works that way. But yeah, I mean, it's really cool. If you haven't seen it, follow me on Instagram at Blue Smoke Media. You can see the Friends Apartments and all the other Lego builds I've done. Your live on Wednesday was really good.
No, it wasn't really good. It was the worst one so far. It sucked.
No, I liked it.
It was good once you got there, and Pretzel Grass was there. You two were the ones keeping me company, but for the first hour, the first 20 minutes was me just getting frustrated because my airbrush wasn't working. And then nobody came in, which is fine, because I was literally just painting 50 pieces gray. It was so... I wish I could have timed it better, because the next night I did this awesome skin tone, and I'm like, wish I could have fucking shown that, because that was actually something that's involved and not just mindless fucking spraying. So try that. I don't know, I enjoyed it. I like talking to Pretzel Grass. So yeah, Pretzel Grass is good stuff. I like them. We should talk about my man,
Batman boy. Yeah,
Rabat to Bat and Bat.
All right, so before we get into spoilers, just our brief overall thoughts, our opinions, no spoilers on the Batman. So if you have not seen the Batman, we're just going to give our thoughts, and then we'll let you know when we jump into spoilers. What were your thoughts? What did you think?
Shit was fucking awesome.
Perfect. I also agree. The movie was fucking fantastic.
I knew you would like it.
it made me want to buy every DC toy available that it's in regards to Batman.
You don't want to do that. Trust me. DC
Well, that was my question: was what DC brand is actually good for toys? Because well, that sucks.
The expensive ones are good. So if you want to spend $100, those ones are good. But
I don't want to spend $100.
Then nothing. There's no option. You can buy McFarlane, but the McFarlane stuff's dog shit.
Well, fuck me, right? Yeah, I love the movie. I think it's phenomenal. It's my second favorite Batman movie. I think it's a little below The Dark Knight, but overall, I very much enjoyed it. I think Robert Pattinson is a fantastic Batman.
Me too.
I love the direction of the movie. It's gritty. It's grounded. It's very, very solidly done. It's has its own tone. It has its own direction style. I wouldn't compare it to really any other of the Batman movies. It's just kind of has its own style.
I said that to Kate. I said it's weird because it seems like every Batman movie kind of is the same, but it's just like different varying levels of silliness. And I said this is the first one that like I didn't feel that way. Like, don't get me wrong, it's still Batman and it still has a lot of the similarities, but like in terms of how the story plays out in this one, I thought it was like pretty unique to itself. Like I don't feel like we've gotten this version of Batman before, and and this is coming from somebody who knows nothing about Batman. I just know the basics that you learn from from watching various Batman things over the years. Like as it's
very grounded.
Fan. Yes, yeah, it's very grounded.
Very grounded. It has like Christopher Nolan's movies definitely were like a grounded take on Batman, but it still had the very tech-heavy aspects of Batman.
Yeah.
I would say this has more of like a gothic vibe towards like the Tim Burton Batmans in style, but it's very, very grounded to the point of like not being super tech-heavy. Like it's very realistic in what Batman could achieve as a normal human being. Like obviously he's still wealthy, but it brings it very down to earth of like there's no real crazy aspect of this movie where you're like, no man could do this. Like that's absurd. Like it's very realistic.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was actually talking to somebody else and we were talking about villains. And I said, it's kind of a bummer that we're not getting like a villain that we've never seen before, like on TV. But then I was like, you kind of think about it though, and it's like, I don't know if like a Killer Croc or a Man Bat could like exist in this type of world. Like it would immediately take away the thing that it's like they're striving for, which is to be like grounded and like really set in real. I'm obviously not set in realism, but like you know what I mean, right? It's more like believable that someone could just do this rather than like here's this like full molded bodysuit that's like.
Yeah. I mean, I would say this is the most realistic take on Batman ever. Like, I agree. It's very down to earth. It's very like, yes, if we had a very, very corrupt city and a wealthy man decided like, hey, I've had enough of this. I'm going to go in the streets and like kind of fight crime. This is the take on that. Like, it's not anything where it's like, all right, he's driving a car up the side of the fucking building and like, he's got every tech piece ever imaginable. Like, no, it's very like glued together, done at home, tech wise. Like, it's very like the car is just a car that's kind of souped up. Like, I
love the car.
the car's gorgeous.
Amazing. So cool.
Yeah. Even like Catwoman isn't obviously in the movie like sexy, but like also very realistic and down to earth. Like, she's just a cat burglar. She's not like some woman that got eaten by cats like in the Michelle Pfeiffer version, or like she's just basically a chick on a bike.
By cats. Is that what happens to Michelle Pfeiffer? I haven't seen Batman Returns in forever.
Yeah, like she get all her cats like start licking her blood or something, and then like she gets like cat DNA or something. Like, it's ridiculous.
That's great.
Yeah, it's down to earth and I like it. And even like the Riddler is like very based off of the Zodiac Killer. It's very realistic. It's very like cryptic, but like something that could definitely exist in this timeline. Like you could see it being a part of our normal day life.
Oh my
like,
god, dude! It felt like right now. Especially, we shouldn't get into that yet. Actually, I'll save that for spoilers. But
I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, it feels like it could exist today. Yeah,
feels like we literally just saw this.
totally. And,
not bad, but yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Alfred's in it, and he does have like a cool little different take on it a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was good as well.
Yeah, I mean,
I like
without getting into spoilers, I would say it's really, really good.
Me too. So we need to do spoilers because we've got to talk about lots of stuff.
Yeah.
So much stuff.
So spoilers, if you have not seen the Batman, leave now.
We should get a hat that says spoilers, and then when we're talking spoilers, we can wear the hats that say spoilers.
Spoilers on the back. Yeah, no. So anybody that's here now that is not wanting Batman spoilers, leave now. Come back later. Finish the podcast after you've seen the Batman.
Before
this is your last warning.
Batman, did yours have the trailer for Nope?
Yes, it looks terrible.
Really? I think it looks crazy. I was watching. I was like, "What the fuck?"
I thought it looked awful. I think it looks as bad as Us.
But have you liked any of his horror movies or no?
Oh, I love the first one. Get Out, I thought was phenomenal.
I didn't like Us though. But
Us was terrible, and this looks just as bad as Us.
I think this one looks pretty cool, but yeah. Okay, anyways,
we had Us. We had Doctor Strange. I don't remember what the third one was. We had another trailer too, but I don't remember.
We had Doctor Strange. I missed the first trailer, but Doctor Strange. I came in right at the end of Doctor Strange, and then when I sat down, there was Nope, and then it was the movie.
Fair. All right, spoilers.
Spoily.
Right. Where do you want to start?
Oh man, I don't know. Fuck, I just loved even that opening scene. Halloween night and like that fight in the subway, like man, I knew that's how it was gonna open, kind of something with like gangs in the street or like in a subway or like in an alley, where it's kind of like all closed off and he had to fight multiple people. That's what I figured we would kind of start with, and sure enough, it did. But man, it was great. It was so good.
Now, in the best way possible to say this, and I don't know how to say this that doesn't come off as like fucked up, but it reminded me a lot of Batman and Robin in the fact that like the gang's faces were all like white and like I think it's Batman and Robin, but it could be what's the third one?
Oh, Forever?
Forever. It could be Dark Knight or Batman Forever. Batman and Robin are like fighting in the streets and the gang has like glow in the dark white paint on their face and shit. And I'm like, this totally reminds me of that, but like in the best way possible, where it's like gritty as fuck and it's like way more realistic and not cartoony. Like it's like you definitely could tell like the one guy had like half his face painted and you could tell like it was like an initiation for him to be in the gang, and like Batman's taking fucking gunshots to the chest and like
it's crazy, dude.
Finally, it's just so realistic, and like this is finally the Batman where I'm like, yes, gang members would be shooting him in the fucking body 100%, and it's never really been that. Like, it's never had that.
Yeah, I like it. Oh, Jason M. Lawton says, so Robert Pattinson was good. Okay, so like, let's just get this right off our bat right away. Like, where do you rank him for Batman's? Because like
my second favorite.
Like, he's my favorite Batman we've had so far. He beats what's his name for me? Christian Bale for me.
Christian Bale is always going to be my favorite because I think Batman Begins and Dark Knight is like really solid movies. Differently stylistically, like they're just very different movies. But Robert Pattinson's fantastic as Batman. He is very good, especially as like a year two Batman. Like he just has that youthful look. Yeah, that's like early 20s. It just really well. It just works really well. I love him.
I agree. I liked him as Bruce too. I liked this take of Bruce where he's not like a playboy. He's a shut-in, and he's like
They based him off of Kurt Cobain.
I totally see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's very grungy. He's very gritty. He looks dirty a lot of the times. It looks like he hasn't showered in like a week and a half.
Yeah.
It looks like he hasn't slept. Like he still has like makeup on the side of his face and shit half the time, or he's dirty. Like he's very, very not the Bruce Wayne that's gonna go pick up chicks at a bar. Bruce Wayne, playboy, millionaire. Like he's very much like a lonely, sad, emo Bruce Wayne, but it works. It works so well.
The thing is like it's funny because in like comparing him to Christian Bale, my other kind of favorite movie Batman, is like they're both serious in the sense that like Batman is the main identity, even though like Bruce is the face. But like I like this version because it's like you can tell that that's the case. It's like he clearly doesn't want to be part of society, and it's like if he doesn't have to be and he can just be Batman. It's like even when he does Bruce stuff, it's like, oh, you're dressed up to go out, and he's like, oh well, yeah, I gotta look into this case or whatever, right?
Yeah, like, it really feels like he feels like society has fucked him over because of the loss of his parents, and he holds that against society. He doesn't want to be a part of their society because he's mad at them. He's upset by the fact that it took his parents. So it's very much an emo Bruce Wayne. Like he's very sad. He's very depressed the entire movie. He looks like he doesn't want to talk to anybody. Like he's just he's a depressed Bruce Wayne. And he doesn't even use his wealth for anything really in the movie. Like it's never like he's out there like I'm gonna buy this hotel or like anything like that. Like
that's what I mean. It was like I got that I did buy into the fact that Christian Bale, his Batman was his main persona, but it's like as the playboy he like played the part, right? And it's like I love this version that like doesn't want anything to do with it. Like even that part at the beginning where they're like, oh, you're gonna have breakfast with the investors, and he's like, I don't fucking care. Like if I can't make any change, then I don't fucking give a shit. Like I don't fucking care about it. And I'm just like, oh my god, I fucking love this.
yeah, totally. I totally agree. Jason M. Lawton in the chat said, does this have any real connection to the extended universe? Like what Earth does this take place on? It has no connection to the DCEU in any
way. But I mean, I'm not really the best one to tell, but I mean, I didn't see anything. So.
There was zero links at all that was linking it to the bigger DC universe. It sets up a sequel, which we will get to, but in no way. I mean, Matt Reeves already has come out and said, like, in his universe, Superman does not exist. He does not want like space type shit in his universe.
He wants to keep it grounded.
He wants to keep it very grounded, and so I can't see this being part of the DCEU. Now, whether WB lets this stay alone or if they force it into the DCEU,
Pattinson is 100% going to be in the Flash because this is going to do well, and they're going to try to.
Oh no, man! I don't know how you make it work. It's very, very grounded, and I don't know if you can have Pattinson in the Flash and Superman universe. I just don't think it works.
I'm not saying he's going to be there forever. I'm saying there's no way they're not going to try to capitalize on it.
Yeah, I mean, they may purposely like have him in the Flash as a separate Earth Batman.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll be able to bring that into the actual extended universe of the DC universe, but Catwoman we should talk about. I think Zoe Kravitz fucking killed it. Whoa. All right. Well, flame on, baby.
Flame on.
Yeah, totally. I'm aroused.
I'm discovering filters.
I liked it. This is the content you're missing if you're not watching the video feed.
Guys, you have to check out the...
what did you think of Zoe Kravitz?
Oh my god. First of all, she's gorgeous.
Oh, she's beautiful. Beautiful.
I love the character. Like, I thought she was so cool. And I just, she's a bad bitch. And I was like, I'm here for that. I'm all here for that. I love the chemistry between her and Robert Pattinson.
Definitely,
fucking
definitely.
sizzling, baby. Like it was
Yeah.
great. It was really good.
My only disappointment is like the one scene she had like a wrapped up whip basically, and I really wanted to see some scenes with her like fucking using that whip. And yeah, she used it kind of to like tangle a guy's foot at one point
Yes, I
and
remember
trip
that
him,
part, yeah.
but she never really used it in a way where I was like, this is Catwoman. Like,
Right.
I really hope that in the sequel that she comes back and like fucking full on whips. Like, I don't know, it just would make my day. I think that character is so cool, and she killed it. She killed it. Yeah, the chemistry between her and Robert Pattinson is just,
I know,
electric.
It's hot. You are electric.
Yeah. She seems better than Halle Berry. Yes, 100%.
Yes, I agree. Yeah,
I'm better than Halle Berry at being Catwoman. So
I also agree with that. Is there a
Put me in
Catwoman
skin tight
filter
leather.
on here? Maybe there's a Catwoman filter on here.
So the overall, I mean, I don't know how you want to go about this, but the overall story, like, I thought was really well done, really gritty, really down to earth. Very, I love that he's more of a detective and less of a crime fighter in this movie.
Oh man, that's the part that I liked the best about this. Was like, it was cool to like see the detective part of it and to see him like break down a case. Like,
yeah,
I love.
He's
that.
looking for evidence. He's going through the crime scene with the Gotham City Police. He's he's looking for signs and he's trying to solve a mystery, and you're a part of that mystery. And as the Riddler leaves clues and it slowly builds throughout the movie, you're kind of solving the case along with them, and it's done very, very well. It's it's the best version of Batman in a detective sense that we've ever gotten.
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really well done. I love that car chase that we get with him and Penguin.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man. I was on the edge of my seat the whole thing.
When you see him hop in that car and then you hear him like rev that engine, it was just like, fuck yes, here we go.
It was just great.
Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome. And that car is great. I guess it's like a late 60s Charger.
It's very, very cool.
Yeah, I loved it. It made me want one of those cars. And I was like, holy fuck, this is so dope. Like, yeah. Really love that. I really love the Batmobile. I really loved, like I said, like all his tech is very homemade. Like, the most tech he has is like his eye cameras that like a lens that he puts in his eye that's basically like a video feed of what he's seeing. That's probably the tech heaviest thing in the movie. Like everything else is basically just like glued together parts from like a Best Buy or a Source or like whatever. Like it looks very homemade.
Yeah. It's like little gauntlets or whatever that has shit pop out of it and stuff.
Like all his gadgets are basically just very like basic. Like yeah. Even the scene where he's jumping off the roof, like it doesn't work. Mm-hmm. Like he has like basically like a paragliding suit, but it gets caught on a bridge and like he basically gets fucking smashed up on the ground. And I'm like, this is year 2 Batman. Like, yeah, he would not have this all figured out. Like, yeah, he's still scared to jump off roofs. Like he's still nervous about it.
I love when he got up to that part where he's like, fuck, I gotta jump off this roof.
Yeah, like he was like, this is not going to go well, and it kind of goes well, and then it fucking fucks up, and like
it doesn't go well.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, like the car looks like, yeah, it's a souped up car, but it's still just a normal car. Like it's not the Batmobile, Very cool, very cool.
I agree.
What do you think about the Riddler?
I liked the Riddler. I liked the like reveal that he's just some like nerdy dude. I thought that was really cool. I love the whole plot thing, and I love how it kept going after he finally got caught. Yeah, I definitely bought the whole like psychotic fucking crazy man behind the mask, and
it's crazy.
I loved it. I love that
how well he did with just his eyes.
Yeah, I love that first the first scene where he's like hiding in the shadow there behind the mayor.
Totally.
Man, that was great. I'm like, oh my god, dude, turn around, he's right fucking there.
And like a horror movie serial killer vibe, and like his eyes are basically the only thing you can see because he's wearing like a full on mask. And I love that. Like I read an interview with him, and he basically said like he took the interpretation of like what would a serial killer do at a crime scene, and like he wouldn't want to leave DNA or like fiber from his hair or any of that stuff. So originally when he went in, he wrapped his face in like saran wrap or like fucking garbage bags or whatever. And he couldn't act that way, like it was overheating his face, and he was like beet red every scene of dialogue that he delivered. So they came up with that mask where it would keep any fiber of his hairs within the mask, and he wouldn't leave like spit DNA or anything like that. And it just really reminded me of like the Zodiac killer. Like the whole time, it was just like even his question mark with like the glyphs around it, and like all the glyph like notes that he left behind. Like it's all very, very 70s, 60s, 70s, whatever Zodiac killer-esque stuff. And it was like, this is so cool.
Yeah. I liked I wonder if that reference at the end when he says to all his little followers there, like, don't forget the cling wrap or whatever. Didn't somebody say that in one of the chats or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely reminded me of that. And like all of them saying like, you know, what caliber of rifle should I buy, or like whatever, where can I get this mask? Like, and then somebody replies like at whatever, you know, army surplus or whatever the fuck it was.
That was the part for me that I was like, oh my god, that's like right now. Like that's
they purposely did that, man. Like in the left corner it said Anon, like as in anonymous, and like that was the total QAnon vibe and Trump's people vibe of like anonymous message board bullshit of like conspiracy theory. We're gonna follow this guy to the end of the earth bullshit that dumb people fucking agree with. It was totally that vibe.
Half our audience. I'm just kidding.
Whatever. If they're believing in QAnon, I don't want them a part of our community. Yeah, no, it was terrifying because I was like, yeah, 100%. I could see this happening. 100%.
Yeah. I thought it was awesome, man. It was just he was a great villain. Again, like I am a little disappointed that like in the first Batman movie we got Riddler again, Catwoman again, Penguin again. Like that's the only part that bums me out with this whole thing. Like don't get me wrong, like they're great, and you know, this Penguin and Danny DeVito Penguin could literally not be farther from like apart from each other. They're so
and that's what I was gonna say. It's like this Penguin is so much more grounded and so much more like realistic.
Man, his makeup is fucking bonkers. He's almost unrecognizable.
Well, he is unrecognizable because I went to see this movie with my friend Brian and my friend Dan, and after the movie, the credits start rolling, and my friend Dan looks at me and goes, "Colin Farrell was in that movie?" And I said, "Yeah, he was Penguin." And he looked at me and goes, "No fucking way." He had no idea.
Yeah,
and
it's crazy. He looks so, that's what I mean. He's like almost, I say almost unrecognizable.
I could see it in some scenes with his eyes. I could totally tell that it was Colin Farrell. Yes. And his tone of voice, and a couple scenes where you could tell that he still kind of a little bit had that accent of Colin Farrell. But yeah, I mean, he did amazing. The Penguin is easily the best. I love Danny DeVito's Penguin, but it's absurd and like comic booky and weird.
Yes,
where this is very grounded, just a mobster that's like ready to take over the whole mob scene, and
his face is fucked too. Something happened.
Yeah, it's all scarred and fucking fat and you know, damaged, and like, yeah, it just totally seems like something out of The Sopranos or something. Like it's just a mobster, you know.
I'm not gonna lie, his character is the one of all of them that I was like, man, that dude is terrifying. Like, I would never want to run into that dude or be on his bad side. Like he's just.
I think the sequel is gonna do a lot for him.
Yeah, aren't they doing a Penguin movie though?
I don't know. I hope not, but
I really hope they don't stretch this into like stupid. Like, because If they just do them in Batman movies and just slowly progress the story forward, I would be so down with that.
Totally. I don't think they should do a Penguin spinoff for sure. I definitely think.
I thought I heard that, but I mean, I don't follow that kind of
Maybe
shit. So
I didn't notice it, but no. If you okay, so like spoilers for the end of the movie. Again, we're deep in spoilers, but they tease Joker as the next villain, kind of the next movie. You know, Riddler gets captured and put in Arkham Asylum, and his his next cell over guy is the Joker, and basically sets it up that Joker is going to be kind of a part of the next movie. And I really, really hope that's not the case, and I really hope that the Joker stays in Arkham and is just kind of toying with mobsters and villains behind the scenes and is not a huge part of the next movie. Because I think Penguin would be really cool as like a main villain of the next movie.
Same
just
here.
brought up to 10, and then maybe have
as
another
long as he
side.
Has little penguins with little rockets on their back, like in Batman Returns.
No.
Imagine that's just what happens at the end. It just turns like into a whole fucking cartoon. They all pull out umbrellas with guns at the end and just like
yeah. It's I mean, I have not seen Batman Returns in a long time. I'm gonna rewatch it, but it just I always felt that movie was so ridiculous and cheesy, and I really hope they keep the grounded route of this. But I think it would be great if they like added like Poison Ivy or something like that as a second side character. And really gave like Catwoman comes back into the picture and kind of has like her villain, and Batman kind of has his villain with the Penguin, and it kind of comes together in some kind of cohesive story, and just keeps tying like Joker in the background as like somebody manipulating behind the scenes. I think would be great,
because I really did that with Joker like once or twice in a movie, like the next one, even and the one after that, and then finally the last one is. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I totally agree.
To me, I would love to get the breadcrumb version of it. Like again, do it like Marvel does. Like,
you
know. That being said, speaking of Marvel, I will say it was definitely refreshing to see something that wasn't so family friendly. That also being said, when I got done with it, I was like, I really want to watch Daredevil. Like if that movie could have been an R and we could have seen a bit more blood and a bit more like realistic fight, like some serious, like, some bloodshed and fight, that would have taken that movie over the top.
I really wish it wasn't PG-13 and it was R, because there were so many scenes that could have been really, really horrific, and they either like fogged the screen or like kind of pan the camera away. And it definitely could have brought like the horror and the tense feeling up to like 11 if there was more brutality in the movie.
Yep.
But obviously they want this movie to make mega amounts of money, and I have a feeling it's going to do really, really well. So,
do we know where they're at this point or no? Is there any?
I know that in previews, I think it made. I want to say it was 25 million, but I don't remember. But apparently the budget was between 180 and 200 million, so they're going to have to do pretty well this weekend. But I have a feeling it's going to be around 150 million probably the weekend. But who knows?
Interesting. I'm just looking to see if there's anything that on the usual site.
You can go to the website Box Office Mojo.
Box Office Mojo.
It's a very good box office site that gives you basically whatever movies made for the weekend, upcoming movies. So I check that website like once a week usually.
So worldwide,
it may not have it posted yet, but usually it has. Yeah, it usually has early previews of like whatever it made, but it's gonna do well. I mean, my theater was pretty full. I know a bunch of the theaters were sold out this weekend, so I have a feeling it's gonna make some money. You know.
Nice. Well, I liked it a lot. I thought it was fucking so
great.
Fun. I love the fighting. I love the story. I loved the Riddlers. That one, like even like his little saw, like little traps, like that second guy who he puts the fucking rat cage on. Yeah. The rats like eat his face or whatever.
Very
like,
soft,
dude. What the
very
fuck?
Soft. Yeah, they definitely took out of Zodiac and Saw. Like it's basically the combination of the two.
Yeah.
Really cool. yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes. I love the idea of like the city being flooded and being cut off from the rest of civilization and shit like that. Like, I think they could do, I think they could do some really cool sequel things with that, where like the rest of America or whatever cannot really like help them. Like, there's a big crime element in the city and it's kind of cut off from the rest of civilization. I think that's cool. Yeah. What the fuck? That's terrifying. Don't ever do that. Oh, Jesus Christ. See, this content is just, it looks super weird because the rest of your hair is gray and that mustache was like super brown, and it just, yeah. The content you guys miss if you're not watching the video version of the podcast, I tell you. Just gems.
You guys are missing out. You're missing out on all the goods. Bitch.
Yeah, so overall, I would give it a very high mark. I would give it like a 9.5 out of 10. Like, I loved it. I think it was phenomenal.
Yeah, I right up there with you. I think it's probably 8.5, 9 out of 10 for me. Probably. It was really good. I really like that. I'm actually looking forward to seeing where they go next. So next question for you is, if you could pick the next villain we get from the next, if we get another villain introduced, who do you want? Or who do you think would work in this?
That's the problem, is like, it's so grounded that a lot of the villains are very hard to do in this universe. Like, you could not do a Mr. Freeze in this universe. It just would not work.
I mean, I guess I don't really know enough about the character to say, but I mean, from a design level, I feel like you could pretty much do anything, because like, it's not like this Riddler is in any way similar to the Riddler that's in the comics, at least to my knowledge anyway, which is extremely limited. But I mean, like, I don't think we've ever seen Riddler in like a bomber jacket and a fucking mask, right?
I mean, he's always been like the dude that leaves riddles behind. That's kind of like leaving.
Well, sure, that's the character. But that's what I'm saying is,
but like Mr. Freeze uses a freeze gun. It just doesn't work. Like, it's too
but don't
absurd.
you think you could find a way to like make it make sense? Like, what if it's someone who's bent on like trying to recreate like the Ice Age or something crazy? Like, all it needs is like,
it's just still too far fetched.
I know it is still pretty far fetched, but
I would go, if they're gonna do a sequel, I'd probably do the Court of Owls storyline, where basically it's Gotham's elite was basically in like a Illuminati type situation where they're controlling events behind the scenes. They kind of set that up in this movie, where Bruce Wayne's parents and the Arkham family were very much kind of corrupt, and
yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely a different take.
Is Bruce Wayne's mom's maiden name Arkham? Like, is that in the stories? Because I never knew that, if that was like an ongoing.
I don't
thing.
think so. I'm pretty sure they're two separate families in the comics. So in the Telltale video games, they did a storyline where basically Bruce's parents were very corrupt and like basically criminals, and he didn't know that. And he like in the second, I think it's the second Telltale game, Joker and Batman were kind of like growing up friends and kind of like drifted apart, and like that's kind of why the Joker was kind of criminally insane, was like he kind of, everybody around him kind of left him, and then he kind of comes back into Bruce's life later on in life, kind of thing. I definitely feel like they're gonna push on that criminal aspect of Wayne's family, and that, you know, just because he's from this wealthy family doesn't mean that his parents were good people or necessarily doing the best thing they could for Gotham. You know, Gotham or whatever. But I don't know. You have to do something very grounded. Like, even if you did Poison Ivy, I think you'd have to take it in a route of like kind of like a serial killer that uses poisons to you know, attack some kind of, even if she's like a thief of some sort that uses like some kind of poison, attack or whatever, like you'd have to do it in a grounded way. And then maybe that attracts Catwoman back into the city, and you have that kind of as a storyline of like Selina's fighting Poison Ivy while Bruce is trying to take down the Penguin or something like that.
That'd be cool. I'd be down with that.
I don't know how you do like something like Bane, although that
I feel
one
like
scene
is more realistically doable than something like, definitely more than like Killer Croc or anything like that.
Totally, but like that one scene where near the end of the movie where Bruce gets hit with that shotgun and then he injects himself with that
like
thing
that
in his
serum
like
or
arm.
whatever, yeah.
I don't know if that was like.
I thought maybe that would have been like one of those EpiPens that gives you like that jump of adrenaline, maybe.
Yeah, it could be adrenaline, but it also could be venom, and they could be setting up that whole like Bane storyline of Bane basically like. They kind of did in Batman and Robin, less so in the Nolan movies, but like he's basically like a venom addict that like he injects himself with this like drug that makes him like crazy, basically, and that's where he gets his strength from. And that could be the route of like Bruce is using that kind of to like bring him back into the fight, and there's a character that finds that out and injects it like 10-fold or 20-fold and it's become like this hulking monster.
That'd be kind of cool.
Oh shit. That could be interesting, but I almost knocked over my entire table.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know. You'd have to keep it grounded. So it has to stay within realism. It has to be gritty. It's going to be a lot of like gangstery shit, I feel. Yeah, I don't know if you have anything to add to that, but.
No, if I could, like, for me to pick a character, I guess it's hard for me because it's literally for me, it's all aesthetic, like, because I just don't know the characters, right? But, I think you could probably do something fun with Scarecrow if you're going to kind of keep it as like serial killery. You could have someone that's like, has, I don't know, leaves a Scarecrow or something. I don't fucking know.
Well,
maybe they like takes pieces from his victims and like sews them into like the mask or something. I don't fucking know. Like,
sure.
Creepy.
You could do it in a way where, we're already seeing that Batman uses fear on his victims. That's the whole point of the bat signal in this movie is like, they talk about like, even if he's not around, it being in the sky kind of puts fear in the criminals' hearts. And they're less likely to go into the shadows because they're scared of what's lurking in the shadows. And you take that to, the next level of like a criminal that's using that against Batman is like Scarecrow's hiding in the, in the shadows, and he uses some kind of chemical to make people hallucinate, and cause, mania in the streets or whatever. Like, or he develops a new drug that, instead, like in this movie, everybody's taking these drops. They're drop heads and whatever. You could take that to the next level where the drops are even more hallucinogenic and it's causing people to kind of lose their minds in the streets or something like that. Like, and Scarecrow uses that to his advantage. Like, you got to make it more grounded, but he could be just like this drug fiend that, is pushing drugs on the streets instead of like, a bag over his head, Scarecrow-esque Nolan version or whatever,
I guess in some ways, though, they kind of have done that with the Nolan one, right? That's not really that far off the Nolan one, and the Nolan one was pretty grounded. Like, the Scarecrow mask was used as something when he drugged his enemies or his victims or whatever, right?
Sure.
So it's like kind of...
But again, it's also kind of silly, like, oh, I'm going to lace the drinking water with drugs. Like, it's still very comic booky.
Goony, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, where, like, this could be even more, like, of, like, a realistic, like, take on, like, what's happening with, like, heroin and fentanyl modern day. Like, of just, like, pushing it in the streets. Like, he's just a dealer in the streets, and he's taking advantage of the needy and poor in the streets by pushing these drugs.
Yeah, good point. That would be a good idea for sure.
There's a lot of different routes they could go. I'm very interested. I can't wait. I don't know if you know this. Oh, dog. The end credits of the movie, I guess, has like a website that you can go to.
Riddler thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess it's heating up right now online that People think this is going to link out to something that's going to tease the next movie.
Interesting.
So I guess if you go to the website, there's like a basically from the movie of like a cryptic
screen, the black and green.
Well, it has all like the cryptic letters and shit.
Okay.
For people to solve what's happening, but there's also like a countdown on the website, so people think that it's going to link to something eventually and tease whatever they're going to do next or whatever. So it's kind of like a meta game going on right now on their website. So
cool.
We could see. I don't know. Yeah.
I just realized that my comments haven't been moving, so I'm not sure if just there hasn't been activity or anything. But like, sorry if anybody's saying anything. I'm not. Sometimes this happens with my phone. I don't know why. Where it's like the comments stop.
Happening with me right now too.
So my apologies if I'm missing anybody.
I think we're done anyway. So
I think we're done.
I loved it. I recommend it.
I loved it, and I think all my friends screenshotted it when I said that because they're like, "You're not supposed to like DC stuff."
I'm so glad that you liked it because if you hated it, I would have been so mad at you.
I was worried you weren't going to like it, but I was like, once I saw it, because I saw it before Ryan did, and once I got out, I was like, Ryan's going to like this because it's exactly what we were promised from the trailers.
Totally. And
it's like there was no deviation from it. Like, it was still had surprises and everything, I mean, but it was just like, I was expecting to get like a more detective-esque, grounded version of Batman, and that's exactly what we got. From the car to the suit to just everything, right? Like, it was awesome. I also really liked his relationship with Alfred a lot too. I thought it was really cool, and I liked how at the end he was like, "You lied to me," about his parents having that guy killed or whatever, right? And it's just, yeah,
no, I agree. I think it's a different take on Alfred, and he like taught Bruce kind of how to fight and stuff. It seems like from the movie, and I think that's a cool take on Alfred. And it although Alfred lied to him about his parents, he also was the father figure in Bruce's life. So it's kind of, it gives him the kind of a love-hate relationship with Alfred where it's not, he doesn't trust him fully yet. And I think that their relationship's going to develop over the next couple movies where,
man,
give some growth.
Interesting casting on that one though.
Totally.
It's not one that I thought it was weird from the beginning, and I like even after I'm like, I don't know if he was the best cast for that. I still like the dynamic, but I don't know if he was the.
It's interesting. I don't know. I didn't mind it, but compared to Nolan's version of Alfred, like
can't be Michael Caine. Let's get serious here.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I love Michael Caine, so
me too.
It's hard, but I liked it. I enjoyed it. I did not like it, but is it my favorite version of Alfred? No, but
same. What about the suit? I know we both talked about how grounded, and we liked the grounded part, but
I love that his batarangs were inside the emblem on his suit.
That's very cool. I just like that his suit is just a suit. Like it's not not like this like muscle suit. Like
no, it's just bulletproof.
Yeah. Kevlar probably or whatever, and
it makes me want one.
It's funny because like after seeing it, I'm like, man, if Mafex puts out Robert Pattinson Batman, there's a super strong chance I will buy that because I'm just like, he as an action figure he looks like he would be perfect as an action figure. Like the design.
The problem is that
toy so well.
If they make that, I will also buy that, and that's not great.
$120. Bye. And you'll have to wait for like a year and a half to get it, which is even worse.
Yeah, I just see myself buying a lot of toys if they release them from this version of the movie.
Well, go check out the McFarlane ones. They're definitely in your price range, and I mean, they're not for me. But if they're for you, then I mean, the advantage for you is you don't have Marvel Legends and all the stuff that's better than McFarlane figures, which in my opinion is the majority of things, but you don't have the good stuff to really look at as experience. Like if you get these might just blow your minds away. You should look into it. Just look on Amazon. They're probably like $22 or $24. It'd be cheap.
I'll look. Yeah.
I know they've released Batman, Selina, Riddler, and Batman with his motorcycle, I think.
That's a $80 purchase that I think may happen.
Go look at it. Check it out.
Yeah, I'll check it out after the
It might be for you.
Yeah.
The other thing I forgot to mention was how much I liked the guy who played Jim Gordon. I like this version of Jim Gordon a lot.
Yes, you're right.
It's really good.
Yeah. I don't know. I obviously Gordon's very important to the franchise, and he did a good job. He was very again grounded and definitely like just like detective mode, like the police force, Batman helping guy that he should be, of like, yeah, we're going to solve this mystery together, and I trust you.
That.
Yeah. Cool.
I love that he was always on the crime scene too. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. I loved it. Like I said, this is a movie I would go see again because I enjoyed it that much. So
yeah, I if the opportunity comes up and someone's like, "Oh, do you want to go see that?" I'd probably go see it again.
Yeah.
So I went by myself this week. So
well, I would have seen it with you if you lived not the other side of the country.
We could have done D-Box together. Hit the brakes.
No, I'm gonna pass.
It was great, man. It was really good.
All right, well, that's the end of the episode. I hope everybody enjoyed it. That's our discussion on the Batman. And if you didn't like it, well, sorry.
Then you can go fuck yourself. No, I'm just kidding. You can have an opinion, I guess.
I guess.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, if you're not, follow at Customs by Matthew on Instagram. Go to his YouTube channel. Follow him there. He's got
on YouTube. It's way more important. I don't even know how many I'm at. I haven't looked for the last couple of days.
Budding community on YouTube, and his lives on Wednesday are always a fun hang with his community. So
138 subscribers.
There you go, buddy. There you go.
You could be 139th.
Fuck. I wish I was 139, but I'm already number 1, so.
I know you are.
But yeah, follow us here on Instagram at Customs by Matthew at Blue Smoke Media. You can follow us on YouTube. You can follow us on Spotify or whatever podcast service you use. Yeah. And our art is done by J Milne Art. And like, subscribe, post, comment, whatever. We will return your messages if you feel the need to comment and like and all that stuff. Other than that,
Wednesday for Work in Progress Wednesday Live on YouTube.
Join Matt on Wednesday and tune in next Friday when we come back and we'll have some topic for you. I don't know what it will be.
Live dancing. It's going to be an hour of just this. Hey, did you see that video of that kid doing the Peter Parker from Spider-Man 3 dance?
Yes.
Oh my God. I laughed so hard.
Kids.
Kids, you love them.
There's something. That's it. Thanks everyone for watching. Come back next week. And thank you, sir.
You're welcome, sir. I'm glad you like Batman.
I'm glad I liked it too. Next is Doctor Strange.
Damn straight. Peace out, homie.
Later, dude.